The Boar of Hags Fen. You want to hear about Hags Fen? Fine, but don't ask questions halfway through. If you ask questions, it means you're trying to understand it, and there's nothing to understand. Hags Fen sits just west of House Cascoll lands. Used to be pasture. Mild years, you could graze cattle. Harsh years, you could still cut reed and dig peat. People lived there for generations. Hard work, but not hopeless. A place could do worse. Then one winter, the cattle started vanishing, then the dogs, then two boys who went out to gather wood. No bodies, no prints, just gone. The villagers blamed wolves, then blamed neighbors, then blamed themselves. Folk don't jump to monsters. Monsters are the last explanation, not the first. They sent word to Lord Cascoll, so the Lord sent a knight, Sir Ardan Cascoll, second son. Broad-shouldered, liked wine, liked tournaments, liked being called Sir by men who had dirt under their nails. I don't think he was a bad man, just one of those bastards who thinks the world is fair if you just hit it with enough steel. He brought with him 8 men-at-arms, the proper kind, not levy trash. 2 squires, barely shaving. A priest, one of those who smiles even when he shouldn't. A huntsman, old but clear-eyed, and that's the kind that lives longest, usually. 4 hounds, 2 wagons of supplies, a cookboy, 16 souls. That's the important number. Remember that number. They reached Hags Fen mid-morning. No signs of struggle, no signs of life either. Houses empty, but not ransacked. Tools still hung on pegs, bowls still on tables, beds still full of blankets. No bodies, just absence, and something worse, silence. Even the crows were gone. That's never a good sign. The huntsman told Ardan to leave before sundown, said the fen changes after dark, said sound carries wrong. Said shadows behave like animals. Ardan told him to hold his tongue unless spoken to. The huntsman shut up, but he didn't look at Ardan again. That's the thing about experienced men. They stop arguing when death is near. They set camp near the old tannery shed, burned half-rotten boards for fire. Smoke stank like boiled hide and mold. The priest went hut to hut, calling for survivors. No one answered. The men-at-arms joked to keep their nerves even. Harmless jabs. Maybe they all married the same woman and ran from her cooking. That kind of shit. One of the squires laughed too hard. That's fear, laughing too hard. First night. One hound stood up and stared into the dark, hackles up, not growling, just listening. The huntsman stared the same direction. Didn't blink, didn't speak. Finally whispered, "Something's watching camp." Ardan said, "Then it can keep watching." He put 3 men on watch, 2 at the perimeter, 1 near the wagons. They didn't last the night. The man by the wagons vanished first, didn't scream, didn't fight. One moment he was there, next moment just gone, like something reached up out of the earth and took him. They found the top half of him at dawn, lying in the path, perfectly placed like someone thought it belonged there. The bottom half was nowhere. The priest threw up. The squires stared. Ardan ordered formation. Formation doesn't help when there's no enemy to see. Second day. Tracks in the mud. Not beast tracks, not human. Something with weight, something heavy in the chest and shoulders. Something that drags its feet sometimes and walks upright other times. They followed the tracks because that's what men do when they want to feel like they're in control of something. The tracks led to the old fishing pier. The pier was gone. Just black water and reeds. The huntsman pointed to drag marks leading into the shallows. Ardan ordered 2 men to check it. They stepped into the water up to mid-shin. It took 3 seconds. Something under the water pulled one of them straight down, no splash. just gone. The other man panicked, tried to run, slipped, screamed, drowned in water no deeper than his knee, no heroics, just poor footing. Hags Fen doesn't need monsters to kill men. The land can do it well enough. Second night. This is when the creature came. Not a rumor, not a shadow, not guesswork. The boar. If you're thinking pig, stop. This thing was wrong. It had the body of a boar in the sense that a ruined cathedral still resembles a church. Stretched, swollen, muscle too dense, hide too thick, bone too long. It stood upright when it entered the torchlight. Not like a trained animal, like something that remembered being a man. The limbs were the worst part. The front limbs were arms. Human arms, thick and veined, elbows scarred, hands too long, fingers tipped in black claws like hoof and nail had blended. The back legs were human too, but bent wrong, like someone broke them and forced them to heel crooked. Every step was a crunch. Its tail was pink, bare and curled like a rat's. Never still. Twitching. Searching. The head was a boar. But the eyes were human, not mad, not wild, just aware. It did not roar, it did not charge. It walked into the firelight like it had been invited. None of the men moved. Men freeze when the world stops making sense. The boar reached down, grabbed the cook boy by the shoulders, and tore him in half. Ardan ordered the charge. 5 men rushed it. It moved like a man who has killed before. It grabbed one by the helmet and crushed his skull inside the steel like squeezing fruit. It picked another up and threw him, not far, just down. His chest caved in. A third tried to stab it. Sword went in 2 inches. The boar didn't react, just turned and cleaved his jaw off. The priest tried to pray loud, voice shaking. The boar backhanded him so hard his head twisted halfway around. He didn't die immediately. He twitched a while. The dogs attacked. One disappeared under the boar's weight. The other 3 ran. Smart dogs. Then the squires. One of them cried. The other dropped his spear and tried to draw a dagger when he regretted the decision. The boar caught him by the ankle, lifted him upside down, and beat him against the side of a wagon until his spine came through his back. The crying one just stood there. The boar ignored him. Some creatures only kill what stands up to them. Fear saves cowards sometimes. Ardan wasn't a coward. He charged alone, shield raised, sword steady, no hesitation. He struck the boar across the throat. That was the only time it made a sound. Just a grunt, like annoyance. It grabbed Ardan by both arms and pulled. His arms came off at the shoulder. Blood sprayed like someone kicked over a barrel of wine. Ardan lived long enough to watch it happen. The boar pressed him into the mud and took his head with its hands. Slow, methodical, like removing a helmet. The huntsman. He didn't die that night. He tried to lead the survivors out through the reeds. Some made it 20 paces before the ground swallowed them. Some walked in circles until morning. Some drowned standing up. The huntsman was never found. Only one came out. The squire boy, the one who froze. He walked into Cascol lands at dawn, mud to the knees, blood up to the elbows, eyes empty, never spoke again. House Cascol said it was rebellion. Said the knight was killed by villagers. Said Hags Fen was cursed and forbidden. They posted a sign. The fen ate the sign, and the ground went quiet again. But the boar is still there. Hunting. Waiting.